Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is a Wednesday night. I don't know who is going to join me because I normally do these on Saturday mornings, and I also know that some of the bigger content creators are on in prime time. But if I'm doing a stream here on a Wednesday night, that usually means that I'm unavailable to do a science stream on Saturday morning when I normally do my science streams. I should actually be packing right now because I have to go somewhere in the morning, really early in the morning. But I didn't want to not do something this week just because I am going away. So Saturday's stream is happening right now. Let me make sure that I can see myself on YouTube. This might be a stream where I am talking to myself for a while. As a YouTube content creator, that happens sometimes. Sometimes you are talking to yourself because people are on other channels, or people are not expecting you to go live on a Wednesday night. So let me close that. Okay, yep, I'm live. There's the live icon. Okay, and there's me. All right, so I am going to make an announcement on my original channel. I'm going to play the intro, and then I'm going to jump in. Oh, it's been a long day when I've forgotten my ticker, my new add-on here, my new feature. All right, so there's the ticker. All right, so there's the ticker. Oh, and I forgot my subheading as well. Shoot, shucks. Let's see, media assets. Nope, that's the wrong one. Ticker, banners, style. There's my headline. Scientist, author, blogger, content creator. All right, let me make this announcement over on my original channel, and then I will get this thing going, and then I will stop because I have to go somewhere early in the morning. Okay, let's see. Nope, it's not coming up organically on my feed there. Let's see, big. Okay, create post. For anyone interested, I am live, comma. All right, so that's been shared over there. So I will, play my intro, and then I will hop in and get started. I don't know who. Let's see. I just saw someone show up. Whoever you are, if you want to shout yourself out and let me know who's there, Well, that was fast. All right, I'm gonna play the intro, and then I am going to jump in and get started, and then I will wrap up. If folks show up, I'll have someone to talk to there in the chat. If not, then not. But this will be up. That's the beauty of YouTube, is that things are up on the playback so people can watch the playback. So I'm going to play the intro, and then I will see what happens on the other side.
So Amar, I see you have the periodic tables on your chest.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that all about? Why are you walking around with a chemistry chart on your chest?
Well, Cheryl, so this channel is a STEM channel. So when I was conceiving of it and figuring out how to grow it, I figured I should have some t-shirts to go with it. So
okay.
the periodic table is critical to most of the
Okay.
scientific fields. Welcome to Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology. Science and technology are all around us all of the time, and there are always science and technology stories to tell. There are always science and technology stories to tell. The Equalizer is here. Sal, thank you for being here and for leaving your comment. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna be discreet here, but I am a Fed. So for a good part of the world health crisis, I worked my 9 to 5 here. And with the coming of the new administration at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, they said, all right, everybody back in the office. So, yeah, after being up early and making that commute and then sitting in your cubicle, going to meetings, doing all those things, by the time you get back home, you are wiped. But I do have, I will still do evening live streams. I just have to get used to going in the office and doing these and getting ready and getting home and getting these things set up. Okay, so I'm going to jump in. So this is a colonoscopy follow-up. Okay, so back in October, I had my first ever colonoscopy. Okay, and I'll probably change the title once this goes over to YouTube to center it. Shout out to Dr. Tiasan Johnson to center it on Black men's health, because I'm going to play a snippet from my October stream, I think leading up to my colonoscopy, where I pointed out and I showed data saying that Black men are at a high risk for colorectal cancer. Okay, and for those of you who are into movies, the Marvel movies in particular, but also movies, colorectal cancer is what killed Chadwick Boseman. So the Black Panther, the first Black Panther, that's what took his life. And yeah, he kept acting all the way through. He kept playing T'Challa all the way through. And no one would have known unless the announcement was made that he had colorectal cancer. When you saw him on social media towards the end, he did look a little, what's the word I'm looking for? He looked frail. He looked depleted. He looked kind of worn down towards the end after the announcement was made. Just briefly, for those of you who don't know, I mean, Sal knows, and whoever else is watching, cancer is basically the uncontrolled division of cells. This is the picture that I've been using since I first had Dr. Nicole Ali on. She is a cancer specialist, but when you're talking about cancer, you're talking about the uncontrolled division of cells, and those can form benign tumors or malignant tumors. And malignant tumors obviously are the worst case scenario for any patient. And then the other thing is detecting it early. Early detection is the key, and patients have a much better prognosis of beating the cancer if they catch it early, which is why it's critical to go get tested and to go get looked at. And that's why it's concerning when people, particularly in your family, who don't trust the medical establishment and who don't want to get tested and who don't want to go see the doctor, because something can be going on and on and on for years, and then a person can be in stage 4, stage 5 cancer, but by then it's too late. So I think part of my mission in doing this is getting the word out to Black men. You got to go get tested. You got to go get looked at. I know there's historically a mistrust of the medical establishment going all the way back to the Tuskegee experiments and all kinds of things. But, our bodies change every decade. And after a certain point, it's important to go get tested and to go get looked at, just so you know, just so that you can catch it early if there's anything there at all. So, okay, so I'm gonna play a short snippet from my October stream talking about the percentage of Black men who die from colorectal cancer. Okay, and then we're gonna take a look at the large intestine. Then we'll talk about what a sigmoidoscopy is, because I had a follow-up procedure called a sigmoidoscopy, and then I'll talk about that, and then I'll wrap up. And then there's a short showing the large intestine working and creating poop, and the poop going out of your body. So that's what we're going to do tonight. AV Media, the Black Manosphere's political pundit, is here. I was watching some of your stream last night before I went off to bed. I know you had a good time last night watching our current commander-in-chief at the podium. Representative Al Green, he didn't have a good time. Jasmine Crockett, that whole gang, they didn't have a good time. But AV Media, I know you had a good time last night. All right, this is a short snippet from my October stream discussing the percentage of Black men who die from colorectal cancer. And I think Black women aren't far behind, but our community, for whatever reason, we seem to have a high prevalence, a high incidence of this. All right. I shouldn't have to fair use my own content, but fair use, fair use. Oh, and Sal, let me acknowledge what you said. You said, I buried an aunt last weekend, cancer. Wow. Sal, what kind was it? If you feel like sharing, what kind was it? Was it breast cancer? Was it this kind of cancer? Was it pancreatic cancer? Was it some other kind of cancer? Which one was it? AP Media said, yes, I did. Yeah. Okay. By the way, the University of Michigan Department of Pharmacology is not sanctioning this live stream. I'm just an alum, and I'm wearing my paraphernalia since I'm talking about medical health and biomedical science. All right. So from my previous stream, it says somewhere here generated by. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Generative. I can't AI hear that. Hold on. But according to this, the question is, and I think I know why. Yep, it's the Yeti microphone instead of the Realtek. Okay, there. Now let's try that again. I did download a larger PDF, but I think this gets to the heart of the matter. If you do a quick Google search on colorectal cancer and Black men and colorectal cancer, you'll find this. And it says, somewhere here, generated by, found by generative AI or something like that. But according to this, the question is, what is the rate of colon cancer in Black men? Okay. According to the American Cancer Society, colorectal cancer incidence rates in the United States are highest among Black men, with an incidence of 58.3 per 100,000 in non-Hispanic Black men, compared with an incidence of 46.9 per 100,000 among all men. Let me read that again. According to the American Cancer Society, colorectal cancer incidence rates in the United States are highest among Black men, with an incidence of 58.3 per 100,000 in non-Hispanic Black men, compared with an incidence of 46.9 per 100,000 among all men. So that's a difference of about 20%, ballpark 20%, looking at that by eye. Okay, so colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer. I think everybody in the chat knows what cancer is. Okay, I'm going to stop that there. The equalizer. So we lead all men in colorectal cancer. Okay, and there was another report that I pulled at that time that said that Black people in general lead the country in colorectal cancer. And I think Tony, he's not here, but he asked a good question during that stream: is does that have something to do with our diet? I don't know enough to know about that. However, I do recall my mother. My mother is very she was always very health conscious. And I remember that she was always very adamant about us not eating foods with lots of additives and preservatives. Okay. Additives and preservatives, industrial chemicals. When those things get into your body, all kinds of things can happen. So as you get older, you start to realize and say, okay, maybe that's why she was maybe that's why she didn't want to feed us a lot of junk food and a lot of fried food and a lot of things that the other kids were eating. And then maybe that's why she cooked at home. And maybe that's why my mother was just all natural with a lot of things, because too many chemicals you don't know what they can do once they get inside of your body. Okay, so colorectal cancer. Okay, so where does colorectal cancer take place? Well, this image here, this is a cartoon. It must be AI generated here. Okay. Well, let me see if I can pull it up. I'm using it as the background right now. Let's see if I have enough space for it. You guys keep letting me know what you think there in the chat. I appreciate you being here, hanging out. And Sal, I'm sorry to hear about your aunt. This is a cartoon of colorectal cancer. So that's an intestine. That's got to be an intestine, and that's a tumor growing right there. So let's take a look at the anatomy of the large intestine. Okay. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay, there's that beautiful picture. Okay. And this is why all of this matters. You need to know the what and the why. And I did take, during my schooling, I did take anatomy and physiology and biochemistry, and I did learn a bunch of these things. But as a scientist, you often have to relearn and reteach yourself things, because there's so much information. Information is always evolving, and you forget, so you always have to refresh yourself. So this was a good time to refresh myself on the large intestine and what exactly that does. So as you can see right there, it's a complex structure. So we're going to start over here on the right side, starting with the cecum, and then you have your ascending colon, and then you have your right colic flexure. Then you have your transverse colon. So that's going from your right side. That's going from your right side to your left side. And then you have your left colic flexure. And then you have your descending colon. And then you have your sigmoid colon. And then your rectum. And then your anus. So that's that's where you take your poop, right there, your anus. Okay. So that I was about to say something profane, but I won't do it right now. So going back to the right here at the ileocecal valve, that's coming from your small intestine. So what your small intestine does is that's where all of your food, where all of your food gets absorbed. So the food gets broken down on its way to the small intestine. That food matter it gets absorbed. Water gets absorbed. Most of the water you drink, most of the liquid you drink gets absorbed into the small intestine. And then whatever's left over passes into the large intestine. Okay. And that forms your fecal matter. That's all the particulate and the non, how should I say this? The non-aqueous waste, the particulate waste, all of that moves into your large intestine and then out through your anus. Okay. And I was thinking earlier today, anytime so living organisms create wastes, anytime you're extracting energy from something, because that's why we eat food, to extract the energy, waste is created. Cars, anything using a combustion engine, or maybe to create batteries, you do the same thing. Anytime you're extracting energy from something, you're causing a chemical transformation and waste products are created. Our bodies are miracles of science. God was a master scientist, a master creator, and he made our bodies to do the same thing, to extract nutrients from food and to pass the wastes out. Okay. And obviously your aqueous wastes, stuff that gets absorbed into your bloodstream, or any waste that your cells create, that goes out through your urine. Okay. So that's a quick anatomy. That is a quick anatomy lesson for the large intestine. Okay. So now what's the difference between a colonoscopy and a sigmoidoscopy? Okay. I'm going to use a picture here. And this is actually the thumbnail for this live stream. Okay. So your sigmoidoscopy is on the right and your colonoscopy is on the left. So we just had our little anatomy lesson for the large intestine. So that sigmoidoscopy, you see that green scope there, it's only going up through the descending colon. Okay. So you have your sigmoid colon there, but it's only going up that far. The colonoscopy, okay, as you can see there, it's going all the way through to the ascending colon down to the cecum. Okay, so that's the difference. It's the amount of area in that large intestine that the specialist wants to look at. So the sigmoidoscopy, it's going just up the ascending colon, okay, and then the colonoscopy is going throughout the entire large intestine. So why does that matter? It matters because depending upon which procedure you're going to have, that's going to dictate how much your large intestine needs to be cleaned out before you go to your procedure. So for the colonoscopy, I had to take something called a Plenview, which is a solution that you drink, I think 12 hours before, and then you have to drink it again, I think 4 to 5 hours before the procedure. That goes all the way through your digestive tract and it cleans you out. You're using the bathroom, and then quite a bit. And then by the time you take the second treatment, everything coming out of your rear is liquid because they have to clean out that entire large intestine. Okay. For the sigmoidoscopy, your specialist only wants to see that ascending colon. Okay. So you only need to clean out that part of the large intestine. So then the question is, how do you do that? All right. To do that, there are probably multiple ways to do it, but my gastro specialist, his team recommended something called a fleet enema. Okay. You don't need a prescription for this. For the Plenview, that had to be ordered through the pharmacist. But this is called a fleet enema. You can buy this off the shelf. So it's a laxative and it's a saline solution. Okay. I think the active ingredients in here are, monobasic sodium, 19 grams, and dibasic sodium phosphate, 7 grams. Okay. So then the question is, the fun part is, how do you use this? Let's take a look. So you have a bottle here, and you see this elongated tip, right? An elongated tip. So this elongated tip has to go somewhere. Okay, so the directions for using the fleet enema for this. Now, this is used for people, I think, under normal circumstances. This is used for people who have who are constipated, so they're not moving anything from their large intestine, so they're backed up. So that's what this is actually used for. Salchi says, yes, you know where I'm going. Aquateki has entered the building. He says, no, yes. Aquateki says, that's a lot bigger than a suppository. That's right. So the fleet enema, and I was not excited about doing this. And I did watch a couple of videos before I laid down that night to see what you do. So as you guys might imagine, this yellow tip comes off, and you have to lay on the bed and insert this in and squeeze. One of the videos I watched suggested heating this fluid up first, and I realized why. Because when you don't heat this up, you're feeling cold liquid go up into your anus and your rectum, and it feels weird. Okay, it feels very, very weird to have this going up your rear and to squirt liquid up your rear. Char Willie, how are you doing? Thank you for stopping through. I think I requested you or tried to follow you on the book, the FB, Facebook. So thank you for stopping through. So there was one treatment at 5:30 in the morning. And then there was another one 1 hour later at 6:30. And then my procedure was actually at 8 o'clock. So what they want you to do, and there are videos on this, they want you to lay on your left side. Okay. And here's why. Let me bring the picture back up. None of this made sense until I didn't really think about how our bodies are built until I actually had to do this this procedure, this uncomfortable procedure. So if you notice, okay, if you look at the ascending colon, that's on your right side. Okay, your descending colon, that's on your left side. So that's why they want you to lay on your left side and do this. So what you do is you lay on your left side, okay, and you have to, your last meal is at 10 at night or 12, I think 8 hours before the procedure. So you take the orange tip off, and you have to carefully insert it. There's discomfort there if you're not used to doing that. And you squeeze, and you feel the liquid going in and up. And if it's chilly like this was, it's a little uncomfortable. So I think maybe if it's warmer, it feels less yucky, but it did feel kind of weird. It wasn't a very happy sensation. So then, once you get, and you lay a towel down, you want to lay a towel down in case there's leakage or stuff goes places you don't want it to go. So you don't have to squeeze the entire bottle out, the entire volume out of the bottle, but you want to get enough in there. And then you hold it for a little bit, and then you go to the toilet, and then you release. Okay. And yeah, once it's in there and you're up and you can feel it. Okay. So you're basically rinsing out your large intestine. So then for an hour later, you do the same thing. Okay. You lay on your side. I think you bend your right leg, and you got to try to get in a comfortable position to help the opening, and you stick it again with another. So this came with 4 bottles, and then you squeeze, you squeeze more in, and then you go to the bathroom, and then you release. Okay, again. So again, the specialist for the sigmoidoscopy, he just wants to see that through up through that descending colon on your left side. So for me, the reason he wanted to do that, I'm gonna put this picture up again, is that he saw at the end of my colonoscopy, he saw a minor what they called a neuroendocrine tumor, okay, towards the bottom somewhere. Okay, he wasn't very. When I got a call back to go see him, and he said we want to see you again for a follow up, and he told me this, I was a little bit afraid. I was like, oh my God, do I have cancer? But he said it was a neuroendocrine tumor. He wasn't very worried about it, but he just wanted to take a look just to be sure, because I think he said that type of tumor can secrete a hormone, and if hormones get secreted, that could cause other cells to divide and grow. So he just wanted to take another look at it. So that was my sigmoidoscopy. Okay, so that's why I had to do this, and that's what happened after my original colonoscopy. I'm trying to think, did I leave anything out? Am I leaving anything out? Yeah, so it was a similar procedure. They don't want you, if you're going to be anesthetized, if you're going to be sedated, they don't want you to drive. They want someone to go with you and someone to wait right there in the waiting room. But you can actually do this without getting sedated. But I did not want to experience a scope going in my rear. So I had somebody take me, and I took the propofol. It was a propofol mixture. Anesthesia it's kind of fun, you're laying in there in your gown. They're taking your vitals, and then they put it in my wrist, and once they attach it, you could feel the cold liquid going into your circulation. You could hear the sound of the HVAC and the devices running, and then all of a sudden you're out, and then all of a sudden you wake up and it's over. So that was the same. You really need anesthesiologists who know what they're doing. Otherwise, they could kill you just with the anesthesiology. But it was quick. It was over very, very quickly. Yep. And Akweseki, does everybody know? Does everybody know who died from a propofol overdose? I think I have a picture of propofol here. Does anybody know who died from a propofol overdose? This person could not sleep. This person was stressed out all the time. I think someone's got the answer. I thought I had a propofol picture here. But I don't. And that's okay. Let's see who got the right answer. I know you got the answer. Yeah, Akweseki, smart guy. It was Michael Jackson. Conrad Murray, yeah, he administered him too much, and it depressed his metabolic function to the point where he passed away. Very tragic. But that's what they knocked me out with. So that was it. So my results, I'm going to share my results with you guys. Nothing too exciting here. Let's see. Give me a second here. You guys keep sounding off and let me know what you think. I'm not going to stay on much longer. I have to go and pack. and wash the dishes. You don't want to leave dirty dishes when you go away. Okay. All right. I don't think this is violating any HIPAA laws. These are my results. So I'm sharing my results. Okay. Let's see. So screen share. Just gonna skip down here. Final result. Final result. Oops, wrong one. A rectum per specimen diagnosis. So I think they probably took a biopsy. So they probably took a sample. Possible polypectomy site benign colon mucosa showing mild fibrosis and hyperplastic mucosal changes. No residual adenomatous polyp is present. Gross description received in formalin are multiple fragments of tan tissue measuring up to 3 times 2 times 1 millimeter. So this is the histopathology. Clinical history, personal history of colonic polyp, diverticulosis, polypoid lesion. And so that's how they diagnose. I think when they take a biopsy, they do the histopathology, and that's how they diagnose it. So it was benign. Yeah, nothing concerning or life-threatening. So I have to go back and see him in about a week and a half. But that's what he wanted to look at. So this was after my full colonoscopy. So that's that. So that's what that was, everybody. So again, for context, Black people and Black men in particular have a very high incidence of colorectal cancer relative to other ethnic groups. And for men, we have the highest incidence of colorectal cancer. So it's critical to get looked at. It's critical to get scoped after a certain point, and especially if you have a family history of it. There was another gentleman who was in my chat when I did the first one, and he was getting colonoscopies in his 20s. So that's kind of early, but he had a family history of colorectal cancer. So they want to look at it. They want to start looking at you early. I think they did, Sal. I'm going to ask him when I go and see him again. But when they put those cameras in there, they have the ability to snip polyps and things that shouldn't be in there. So they have the ability to do that. So I think he probably did, but I will follow up and ask him about that. Akoteki says propofol. I had propofol with some other anesthetics when I had my quadriceps tendon reattached. Okay, so you must be doing some bodybuilding, Akoteki, or some hardcore competing there, some squats, some track and field. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to show a short here so we could see the large intestine actually working. And these are things that we don't think about until something is wrong. But yeah, if you develop a tumor anywhere in your GI tract, yeah, you're in pretty bad trouble if it's not caught early. Okay, so this is a short of seeing our how our large intestines actually work. Let's see, and then I'm going to wrap this up. And you take for granted when your body's working the way it's supposed to work and you're healthy. You kind of take that for granted, and you don't really appreciate these simple things like using the bathroom, or digesting food properly, or moving food through your system properly, you don't really appreciate it until something goes wrong. So you got to make sure nothing goes wrong. Hey, if anyone wants to throw something in the collection plate, my Cash App and PayPal are here. I appreciate you guys being here on a Wednesday night. You're under no pressure to do so, but that's something that you do as a content creator. Okay, this is a nice short of watching how the large intestine actually works. I don't. This is probably AI generated. Okay. Fair use. Fair use. Oh, yep. See, it was short. Let's watch that again. And one more time. These are all, everything I showed is in the description box below. Please smash that like button. That's a fascinating rendering of that, isn't it? I mean, hold on. I don't know what that was. That's a fascinating rendering of that, right? I mean, because you don't think about that. You just eat, and then a couple of hours later. But it's depending upon what you eat. If you eat McDonald's, like if I eat McDonald's or too much barbecue with no vegetables, I can't pass anything. So that thing said constipation. So just imagine stuff just getting stuck in there versus when you eat. Sal said, I make sure I consume plenty of vegetables or beans of any kind, or fiber, anything fibrous, anything, fibrous food, or something very runny. Okay, something like okra, something like some things make you go, and then there are some things that constipate you, that don't move through you. So that's something to be mindful of. But it's fascinating looking at that rendering, that cartoon. That's what happens when you can't ghost. That stuff, it gets in there and it just sits, and that's when you have to use something like this, or you have to take a laxative orally. But ideally, you want stuff moving through. And they say you want to ideally you want to make more than one movement per day. Yeah, more than one. So, and then sometimes the other extreme is diarrhea, where it's too runny and things are just running right through you. So you could have constipation or you could have diarrhea, and you want to be somewhere in the middle. Okay. All right, everybody. I have to pack my suitcase, get something to eat, and then jump in the bed and go to the airport early in the morning. Let's see. So I appreciate you all being here. Are there any more comments? Any more comments or questions or thoughts? Yeah, the links to everything are in the description box below. My original stream from October, that link with the anatomy of the large intestine. I'll show this one more time. and that short showing stools moving through the large intestine, that link is below in the description box as well. But this beauty, yeah, this link is below in the description box. But I think the bottom line, everybody, I know some people are weary of seeing doctors. Some people don't trust doctors, but you have to get looked at, especially if you're a Black man. You have to get looked at the older you get, and you have to, if you develop cancer, you want to catch it early. And colorectal cancer is what killed Chadwick Boseman. And if you catch it too late, then it's gonna decrease your chances of surviving. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna wrap this up. So, everybody, thank you for being here. It's a Wednesday night. I don't know if Dr. T.S. Johnson is on, but people are doing other things, and my normal time slot is Saturday morning. But I wanted to do something and not just let the channel lay dormant. I'm not going to make all my announcements tonight. If you're watching this and you're unfamiliar with me, my book is in the description box. I'm not gonna well, you know what, just I'm in business, so I do have to market. Let's see, I'm looking for any fresh comments there. Everybody, this is my book. It's more than just a basketball story. It's about life, success, and failure, and learning how to persevere through life's challenges. This is available on Amazon. The Engineers of Western New York Basketball Story, Part 1, Innocent Basketball Dreams. It's available on Amazon in the ebook, hardcover, and paperback editions. If you want to buy one directly from me, a signed copy, use one of those forms of payment there. I'll be discounting the hard copy $10, so it'll be $25 instead of $35, and then the paperback will be $22 instead of $27. Those are the prices on Amazon, but and the shipping and handling is built into the prices I just read off to you. So with that, thank you all for being here. Pass the word on. Make sure if you have people in your family or in your friendship circle and they're getting older, you don't want to force somebody or guilt somebody into going to the doctor, but it doesn't hurt to put the bug in somebody's ear and say, hey, look, you might want to consider this. Thank you, Char Willie, for coming through. Always good to see you. It's always good to see you. And your peace sign and your smile. So with that, everybody, and I think Sal just posted the, I think this is the link, the Amazon link to my book, or is it something else? All right, everyone, please like, share, and subscribe. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Make sure you eat plenty of vegetables and keep yourself regular. Otherwise, you're going to have to use this fleet enema. And you don't want to use this unless you absolutely have to. So have a good night, everybody. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.